I was locking out, and I was coming back in upside down into the forward escape trunk in the hatch, and my tank got caught, and all I could see was a dark shadow going down into the depths of the water.
What's going on, guys? Time for another episode of Behind the Uniforms out here in Florida I'm super excited to introduce you guys to Hector. Hector is one of our founding members of Operation Innocence, our task force to come up with common sense solutions to stop school shootings. Got a great company out here, so we're chatting about that and about the task force. So I'm going to shut up. You tell everybody who you are.
Okay, my name is Hector Delgado. I'm down here in Jupiter, Florida. I'm a retired Navy SEAL with 29 years of service, both in active and reserve components. And I'm also a retired Homeland Security Special Agent.
So I asked Hector to be on Operation Innocence because of the company that he now runs. So before we go into good day, bad day, why don't you tell everybody about ASR?
Let me tell you why I started ASR. I'm a dad, I'm a father, I'm a parent, and my daughter goes to school. And I'm looking at these school shootings and these tragedies that are happening here in my home state. And I decided to do something about it. And I developed some technology that will combat this epidemic. And what ASR does is it's these alert buttons that are distributed throughout the school, throughout the organization. And when it's initiated, it not only notifies the nearest law enforcement officer, it also notifies all the teachers in schools all at once. It's something that is not being used, it's not out there, and that's the reason why I want to do it, to save lives.
Well, what I thought was really interesting about it, and this is probably why it's got the support of so many in law enforcement, is that I was watching one of those videos where it was the 911 playback, right? And you saw how long it took before a 911 call even came in, because everybody's in panic mode. They're trying to get to a safe place in the building.
Yep.
So you've got that delay. But then the 911 system is now flooded with 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, teachers, everybody calling in, mixed messages. You can't even get the name of the school out of some of these kids because they're so traumatized by what's happening. The system sort of cuts through that noise.
It does, and that's the purpose, you know. It's the time that's killing our children. It's not that the police or 911's unprofessional, or it's the fact that something's happening, and why should we put the pressure or the onus on the victim? I don't even like calling them victims. The children, the teachers, to pick up a phone, unlock a phone, possibly already being shot, having blood on their hands, and then under stress, trying to relay information to a 911 dispatcher.
No doubt.
We should, we should give them we have technology. Let's let them relay. Let us, ASR, do the call for them, and at the same time, a law enforcement officer could be just down the road in a car. He can self-dispatch. He can be on scene and neutralize the threat.
No doubt. So speaking of neutralizing threats, let's talk a little bit more about your background. You want to go in good day, bad day? Where do you want to start?
We'll go with good day first.
Awesome.
Well, good day is always coming home, and seeing my family after, whether it's a warrant or just a regular day at my job. Obviously, a mindset is important, whether it's a SEAL or in law enforcement. We operate in yellow until obviously we're close to engaging in our mission and accomplishing our task. You go into red, but a good day is always waking up, hugging my family, going off to work, and of course coming back safe and sound, and of course having my teammates and my coworkers coming home.
That level of support that you get from home, that's got to carry you.
Oh, look, you can't say it's just a job. It is just a job, but the bottom line is you have to make it through your time in your profession, but your family's always there. They're always there. It's important, and that's that support is needed, especially in my type of profession.
Speaking of support, let's talk about a bad day.
Oh, I can go into a lot of bad days. I'll tell you one bad day I had as a young SEAL. We did a lot of locking out, which was doing work with submarines, pretty much leaving a submarine at a certain depth and then coming up to the surface and conducting some work and then going off and doing a mission. This is training that I'm talking about. And a bad day for me was one time where I was locking out, and I was coming back in upside down into the forward escape trunk in the hatch, and my tank got caught. And at that time, the old sub had lost a bubble, we call it, and it started submerging. And as it started going down, they were shutting down the side door. Thankfully, the trunk operator was nudging my tanks, pushed me off, and all I could see was a dark shadow going down into the depths of the water. At that time, I was already at about 120 feet, 130 feet. My ears were blown and all, and I slowly had enough sense to take a stop and slowly get up to the surface. But that was a bad day.
Oh, that's pretty scary, huh?
It happens. It's training.
So, I mean, that's in training. You deployed, right?
Sure.
Coming home, what was that experience like, especially after some of the stuff that you had gone through?
Well, you know, there's a difference between, I came up, I started in 1987. So being a peacetime SEAL, and being a SEAL that's been in combat, and this new generation, the op tempo, going on multiple deployments, limited time with the family. It's difficult. It's difficult for them. I experienced that, of course, when I went to Iraq in 2006 with SEAL Team 3, and it's tough. You know, unfortunately, you're operating at a very high level, and then you come back and you have to re-engage. You have to engage your family, and you have to, try and get back to some type of normalcy. And for some folks, it's difficult, and for others, who are a little bit older, mature, have been around, it's a little easier. But it's just something that we all have to go through. The Navy and the military does try and help in advance prior to the guys coming back in, but it's always a change and an adjustment period.
One of the things that so many guys have talked about is the need to find that mission again, to come home when getting out and find a mission that drives them forward. How has ASR and Operation Innocence given you somewhat of a mission?
Well, I think it's important to have a cause, always. I don't care what it is, and I share this with my daughter, and again, I want her to find her own cause, not mine, whether it's SEAL or law enforcement. But for me to be able to serve my country, and then now serve the community, or more importantly, serve our parents, serve the teachers, serve the most valuable asset that we have in our country are our children.
Absolutely.
And they need to be protected. And sometimes, we rely on organizations and government and other organizations that it might take some time to get action and to make changes. I just think that with the folks we have in Operation Innocence, with my team at ASR, we are so focused and driven to make a change in our country, and with the goal that what our mission is. It's to protect our children, and they are the most precious assets. So it's very satisfying for me.
Awesome. ProtectingTheKids.com is the URL if you want to check out more on Operation Innocence. ASR, what's the website?
ASRAlertsystems.com.
Awesome. Guys, thank you for taking the 2 seconds it's going to take you to hit the share button on this video. Getting these stories out there and getting these missions out there is a tremendous, tremendous way that you can help protect kids and serve those who have served and protected our communities and our country. So, brother, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for having me out to Florida. I think it's bourbon time. Guys, thanks for hitting the share button on this video.
Let's go.
God bless America.
God bless America.